Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Alright, X. I work security EMT in a very isolated factory in the middle of fucking nowhere. We have our own clinic and fire department, crew on site because of how far out we are. I've been hearing ghosts for years. Here's some of the shit from the last year of working here. Be me, new guard EMT, working weekend graves. No salary employees on site besides foreman, shit is cash, fuck around for entire shift if nothing happens. Every night around 3 a.m. shit in the clinic starts rattling like someone is messing with it. I'm the only one in the building. All but 2 doors I have eyes on are locked. Whatever ghosts are doing ghost shit. This place has been in business for 60 plus years and has had plenty of deaths. 2 months of this go by. Same shit every night. On a regular Saturday night shift. My day shift counterpart shows me jars of antiseptic spray he acquired for the clinic. Hell yeah. Jif. Put all the jars on the far right side of the counter. Go through my usual routine of locking all but main doors. Double check as always after. 3 a.m. Rattle as usual. 3:30, log out of World of Warcraft and put the computer away. Need to go take a shit. Walk into the clinic. One of the spray cans is 1 foot away from the rest. Move it back. Tell ghosts to please not disturb the medical equipment. Take a peaceful shit and go back to farming on WoW. Story 2. Continuing from the last one. It happened a while later. Grave shift. Working on a plan for quarterly training in the upcoming week. Need those National Registry of Emergency Medical Technicians hours. Have 1 hour left over on schedule for training day. Decide to throw in a scavenger hunt of ambulance equipment as a fun game to end the day. Go out to ambulance bay to make sure items for scavenger hunt are on the rigs. People steal all kinds of stupid shit they don't need. Let me explain the building. Only 3 entry points, 2 bay doors on the south side of the building. 1 small door on the southwest corner of the building, with 1 window next to it. The east door sticks, hard to get open when fully closed due to corrosion and time. Not a lot of room to walk around ambulances in the building. Only 1 person in the walkway. Continuing with the story. Enter through the small doors. Immediately feel like someone is glaring at me. Call out and look around to see if anyone is in there, hear and see nothing. Figure it's a ghost or spirit. Say out loud that I'll be in and out quickly. Just need to check the ambulances. Feeling doesn't go away. Hurry up and check everything is there, it is. Made sure to close the door firmly behind me, so that coworkers can't sneak in there and spook me. Fuck you, rowdy. Walking around the back of the ambulance heading towards the door. Say out loud, okay. I'm done now, please don't kill me. See the door handle turn and the door opens. See through the window. No one was on the other side of the door. Thanks, I can get the door myself, sorry to bother you. Walk back to the guard shack and go back to finishing up the plan. Story 3. In between 1 and 2, this one's a long one. Grave shift, 2 o'clock-ish. I didn't bring my laptop, bored and tired. I decided to go walk around the parking lot for a lap or 2 to wake myself up. It's cold, so it should be enough to keep me awake until sunrise. On the far southeast side of the parking lot is an old water tower. Walk around to the west side first, counterclockwise direction. As I'm walking by the water tower, hear what sounds like a mountain lion growling and a man choking.
Help me.
Hear it 2 more times. Decide survival is the better part of valor. Beat feet to the guard shack. Have the remote camera view on my phone zoomed in on me to make sure I can see anything sneaking up on me on my way back to the guard shack. Nothing on camera. Get in there, light some incense to calm myself down, and fuck around on the duty computer. Shortly after this happened, at the train cars located directly west of the guard shack is where this story continues with a Native American or Samoan coworker I'll name Fluffy. Be me, Fluffy. Loading a train car with a product. The area is well lit. Finish loading that car. Start cleaning up leftover materials and general trash on the ground. A few minutes into it, I smell a wet dog. Get the sense I'm being watched. A few minutes go by, and I hear something heavy slam against the other side of the train car. Go investigate. Nothing. Go back to the control room. Asked to see camera footage. The camera shorted out right at the same time I started to clean up. Stay inside the building the rest of the shift. I learned about this happening the next day. I reviewed the security footage and confirmed the camera shorted out only for the few minutes this occurred. We both consulted some natives and concluded it was a skinwalker trying to get someone's attention to fix something. This continues into the next story. Story 4. A week or two after Story 3. Be me, consulting with other people on site who are practicing magicians. Weird places attract weird people. Find out one dude in the chemicals department is a practicing magician with 30+ years experience. He has the mojo to back it up. Tell him about the skinwalker.
Well, yeah, there's a demon out in the reservoir. It's probably trying to fix that.
What? For context, the reservoir feeds the entirety of the plant. So it is the spiritual start of a frankly unholy process to create what's made at the plant. Come early the next night, head out to a reservoir on the far east side of the plant. Spend about 5 minutes walking around, nothing. About to go back to the guard shack when I see 2 bright red eyes staring at me from across the reservoir. The longer I stare, the more of it comes into focus. 2 coal red burning eyes. Wolf's body. Chicken's head, proportionally large enough to fit a wolf's body. The fucking thing walks towards me into the water and submerges. Eyes disappear. Nope the fuck out of there. Later that night, a chemical wizard swings by. Tell him we need to banish it. I will get shit prepped and we will do it next week. He agrees. Fast forward 1 week. The first day on, the chemicals wizard is off shift that day. 4 rotating shifts for plants. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That night's shift was 2, chemicals wizard is shift 4. Decide to start working out to kill the time. Halfway through workout, feel an immediate sense of impending dread and doom. WTF.jpg. Scan area with cameras. No crackheads or pranksters. Try to brush it off and resume your workout. First set in, and I start smelling sulfur. We don't do anything at the plant that would create that smell. Oh shit, must be the demon. Put up all the wards I have in my locker. Salt the doors and windows, burn sage like a motherfucker. Even put some holy oil on my face. The smell and feeling goes away after an hour. Go back to working out. Figure I'll tell wizard friend about it tomorrow. End of shift. Shift 2 clocking out. Shift 3 coming on. See wizard friend clocking out. Ha.png. Ask him what he's doing there. He tells me he showed up for some optional overtime. Slow night. So he had brought the stuff for banishing the demon with him. About an hour before I worked out, he started the banishing ritual without me. Was successful. Demon gone. Fucker decided to stop by and give me a kiss goodbye before he left.
I've got a story from childhood that I've never been able to figure out till today. Be me, around 4 or 5 years old, so it's sometime in 1986 or so. Living in a third world country. Go to the shops one morning with mum to get some groceries. Small store in a very small, remote town. Start wandering off on my own because I'm so familiar with the store. I decided to venture further back, towards the stockroom, which I usually avoid because the shelves are very tall and it's darker than the front. I was still a tiny kid. Hear my mum telling me not to go too far. Whatevs. Navigate through the aisles, looking at shit. Shelves seem to be getting taller the further I go in. I get to the last aisle, turn round the corner and I suddenly see it. A chubby humanoid figure with a brownish-pinkish hue, doing a sort of dance. Looking at me. It had a head that looked like an elephant, almost like the Hindu deity Ganesh. But this creature didn't have any of the jewelry or ornaments you usually see in those pictures. It had something that looked more like a snout than a trunk. Almost as tall as the shelves, 2 arms and 2 legs, stark naked, but I didn't see any genitalia. It's just there dancing and looking at me, making a strange ululating sound, not the shrieking kind but a lower-pitched version. I start freaking the fuck out, naturally. Just as I was about to turn and run to find my mum, I suddenly heard a word in my head. It sounded like Poolooloongoolan or something like that. For some reason it occurs to me that this might be this creature's name. It just suddenly popped in my head. I didn't hear any voices. The next thing I know, my vision goes black and I open my eyes to see my bedroom. My mum comes in to wake me up, says it's almost 8 a.m. and that I need to get ready for breakfast. Confused, I asked Mum when we got back from the store. She looks at me puzzled and says we went to the store yesterday. I have no memory of returning home and going to bed the previous night.
Shit lived in 2 rental houses, both haunted as F, but the rent was cheap and places were nice, so figured fuck the ghost I was living with, they can deal with it. Be me. Got a new job and a new girlfriend and needed a new house close to my new job but close enough to get regular real-life coom action, which was daily. Look at classified and find 15 square miles property, 4 bedroom, 1 bath, 1970s gig in Great Nick, $250 a week. Move in. Don't turn the lights off to sleep for 6 months of contract. Simply can't turn lights off without an impending sense of dread and danger. Dial to 11. GF moves in and asks why I won't turn off the lights. Turn off the lights and she goes,
"Oh shit, turn him back on."
Over the next 5 years, I find out the next door neighbor owns the place and knows it's haunted but says nothing to me until I move out, saying I was the longest standing tenant, so he didn't want to say anything but admits he reckons it's the ghost of the former owner. He also frequently hears the voice of a young girl calling to him in the backyard. Wake up many times to see shadows standing over me, doors opening and closing by themselves, and voices down the hallway that spoke jargon. No one ever wanted to come visit me until I left said place. That said, some hippies I knew told me the house was on an energy point, and a negative one at that. It apparently collected negative spirits from time to time. Second, phew, glad I'm in this new house that is a bit younger than that last one, and once again the rent is really cheap but the neighborhood is run down and slightly rough, so meh. Turn off lights the first night being moved in, and sense nothing compared to the previous place. Great comparison in vibe, considering when I moved into the first place I didn't believe in ghosts, etc. Few weeks pass, and neighbors tell me they are glad normal people renting an old place which had some rough characters living in it over the last 35 years. Months pass, nothing really out of the ordinary happens, but I do notice the parking garage is super unpleasant when all lights are off, but chalk it up to total blackness plus past experiences. Sitting at a table one night gaming next to the doorway. Out of no reason at all, look up and see images like that out of Predator movies with bent light around a 6 or 7 feet individual. Momentarily look back at the computer because the penny has not dropped. WTF, look up as bent light turns away from door. Get up like lightning, just enough time to see images vanish down the hallway while all the pet cats are standing frozen in the hallway. Like standing dead still mid-walk, frozen. Stand there dumbfounded for a moment wondering WTF just happened. All of a sudden cats go absolutely ape shit, screeching and trying to climb up doors, etc. Be dumbass and put on best kung fu stance and snarl down hallway. Pregnant wife comes in, WTF is going on. Relate the story and have to do the rounds walking about the halls looking for anything but find nothing. Next 6 months went from bad to worse, with my wife seeing the same thing sometimes as a shadow in the enclosed patio outside or down the hallway in the living room, walking through walls and shit. Seen UFO documentaries where aliens drop humans like hot potatoes if they mention God, so start praying on the reg for old mates upstairs to keep this shit at bay while waiting to move out. Find out some seriously fucked up shit happened in this house. Pets start freaking out regularly and won't go in the backyard at night at all. One night gaming again as the contract is closing up and moving out to a new place is tired of this shit. I stand up, suddenly have the urge to go into the back patio room for no reason at all. And creep factor is right up there and the hairs on the back of my neck are going up. Go to the back patio glass door and oddly everyone follows, including my other 2 cats. My oldest and biggest cat dashes out of the dark at full speed, slams right into the glass door, no hesitation. I swing the door open and the cat regains its composure like nothing happened to him and jumps inside, shaking and pissing himself in one corner of the kitchen while the other cats hiss at him. He is shit scared, wide-eyed. Go inside patio room, which is spacious and easily visible, take a broom out and start swinging the fucking this, hoping to collect something. Nothing happens but move the fuck out anyway.
Been a few years since I've posted mine. First one. Be May. 2010 at the time. Nettlehead in a major metropolitan area. Live in an outlying suburb developing through old farmland. Parents out of town. Go to a concert with a metalhead buddy. The long drive took us a few miles from my place around 2 a.m. post-concert. Driving along in a 90s shitbox, blaring death metal, jamming out. The road we're on cuts through fields, 0 streetlights, black abyss surrounding us except where shitty halogen bulbs illuminate. Suddenly, the car goes dead. Literally nothing works, just dead. Panic, but manage to come to a stop without self-ending ourselves. Hop out, pop hood, using a shitty potato phone to try to see what I'm doing. Buddy goes to the back of the car to try to call for help with his phone. As I'm looking under the hood, I can hear him at the back of the car, fiddling with shit. Suddenly Buddy asks what's going on from right beside me. I explain that I'm dumb and don't know. Buddy then asks, from the back of the car, who the fuck I'm talking to. Look up and see a silhouette beside me. Look at the back of the car and can clearly see Buddy standing back there, presumably looking at me. Flip out and sprint into field screaming. After a while, we regroup at the car, jump in, lock the doors, and desperately fumble with keys trying to start it. The car starts with no problem. Speed home in silence. To this day, Buddy denies it ever happened. Second one. 2011. Still me. Have developed a love of urban exploration. I decided I want to try to find actual haunted locations. After a few weeks, get a lead on an abandoned mental health facility. Con some friends into joining me to check it out. Get some gear together and head out to the middle of nowhere. Have to do some minor off-roading to get around a gate, but eventually roll up on building. Brutalist, concrete structure that's completely overgrown and covered in graffiti. Make jokes and try to unnerve friends. Grab gear and start toward the entrance. The opening is busted open, but presumably used to be double doors with shatterproof glass surrounds. Have a high-power flashlight for these outings. Turn it on and shine it into the foyer. Can see a receptionist desk sitting inside and hallways branching off. Leaves and shit all over the floor. No graffiti on the walls. I'm walking forward as I note this stuff. As I clear the last step and reach the doorway, I freeze involuntarily. Everything inside is screaming not to keep going. Primal fear sets in like I've only ever experienced once before, in the previous story. Friends keep playing grab-ass as they continue past me into the building. They stop when they realize I'm not following. They start calling me a pussy because of the look on my face. Mocking me because I brought them out there. I tell them they can go in if they want, but I'm leaving. They get mad at me, but I don't hesitate. One guy had to run to the car because I put it in gear and started driving away. As I clear the last step and reach the doorway, I freeze involuntarily. Everything inside is screaming not to keep going. Me and two buddies decided to walk into a cemetery at about 2 a.m. one night, through a completely unlit side entrance. Got about 25 yards in, all three of us froze at the same time, acknowledged it and politely noped our way back out. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Be night shift security at a recently out-of-commission rural quarry. Pretty cozy job. Don't even have to patrol since we got cameras. Only there to keep meth heads out and stop photography students and high school kids from accidentally and heroing. Pretty much the only rule is don't fall asleep. Get there one Saturday to find a coworker asleep. Wake him up, relieve him, just brush it off. Get a text a few days later from a coworker, calling me an asshole for snitching and getting him fired. WTF. Get a call from the boss, saying the next time something like this happens I need to report it or I'm gone too. A few months later. Nothing strange happened so far. Be chilling in my shack when I hear something on the gravel outside. It's a deer. No smell or anything, doesn't look weird, I just ignore it. It doesn't go away for an hour. Getting a bit creeped out, go out to try and scare it away. It stands up. Freak the fuck out, draw my pistol. A shitty .38 snub. The position was unarmed, but I ain't sitting out in the middle of nowhere at night unarmed. Fire 3 shots at it. It goes back down on all fours and just trots away. No blood trail. Right behind the deer was a solid stone block. Never found the bullets. No impact marks in the block or ground. Switched off the night shift right after. Never got a call about it. And a fake my coworker eyes switched with never encountered anything.
My friend is from El Paso. Spent most of her youth in Mexico. Very unfamiliar with American culture. I'm an X-File obviously, and I love paranormal stories from Latin America, so we're talking about that. Friend casually mentions that she grew up being haunted by a demon. She called it a demon because she believed it was connected to her father, who dabbled heavily in the occult when she was young, and who was friends with several Brujos witches. One of my friend's earliest memories is of this shadowy figure by her bed. It's all black and looks exactly like a shadow. Specifically like the shadow of a man wearing a large sombrero. She wasn't afraid as she looked at the man until the bed began to rock violently. She began to scream and her mother came running into the room to find the bed shaking. She scooped my friend out of the bed and the two of them ran to the neighbor's house. Not long after, they moved out. But the shadow man followed them. He would appear outside of windows, specifically. She might be doing the dishes one day. They had a window that overlooked the backyard. She would sense someone at the window, look up, and see the shadow of a man with a hat standing there. Sometimes thick, like ink, sometimes soft like cotton swabs. These are her descriptions, not mine. Usually, she would spot it across the street watching her house. Neighbors would walk by the hatman seemingly unaware of its presence. Her mother could see it too, and it resulted in their moving constantly from house to house, but the hatman would always follow them. Anyway, that's just one experience I heard personally. But I've read countless online as well.
So this repeat event just happened literally 5 minutes ago. Nearly every time I enter my bathroom, I see a glimpse of a shadowy figure sitting on my toilet. A figure that kinda reminds me of my now-deceased grandmother. I only see it in the corner of my eye, and when I take notice, it's gone. I've rearranged all the things in my bathroom that could possibly create a shadow in that spot, but nothing is giving me an explanation why it's there. I just saw it twice within my last trip to the bathroom, and have seen it probably 200 plus times over the past 6 months. I want to say it's some kind of pareidolia effect, but I'm consistently seeing it under all conditions. Doesn't matter if it's day or night or if the lights are on or not. It's almost always there when I enter. Usually when I brush my teeth or wash my hands, because then the toilet is only visible in the corner of my eye. I've considered recording when I enter the bathroom. And not sure if related, but this bathroom is upstairs. A few months ago when I was downstairs alone, I heard a door handle jiggle violently from upstairs, followed by creaking. My dog heard it and completely froze. I grabbed a weapon and FaceTimed my girlfriend in case I got attacked, but checked every possible spot upstairs and found no sign of anyone. I know that when the windows are open, doors tend to slam shut, but this was nothing like a slamming, nor were the windows open. I have no idea what could cause a door handle to jiggle. My door handles aren't round knobs, but instead like a curved-shaped bar handle, if that helps explain a possibility. I've been told creaks could happen from the AC. So help me out, what is causing me to consistently see this shadow in my bathroom? Is it all in my mind? I know for a fact the handle wasn't because my dog heard it, but don't know what could cause that either.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentexts will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.